The original 1607 English settlement at Jamestown, Virginia, had long been considered lost under the James River until 1994, when archaeologist and historian Bill Kelso found evidence of the site. Since then, the Jamestown Rediscovery Project has unearthed more than 1 million artifacts, including many complete skeletons of the settlers. American History TV visited Jamestown for an In the Trenches archaeology tour with Mr. Kelso.
I'm Bill Kelso. I'm the director of the Jamestown Rediscovery Project, archaeological project. It's been going on for 18 years. Well, you are on one of the few islands that you can be on along the James River. That's one of the reasons why it was chosen as the first colony. We're about 35 miles from Hampton Roads, or the opening to the ocean. The channel was so close to the shore they could tie the ships. Now the channel, well, that ferry boat out there is in the channel. So the conventional wisdom was that they tie the ships there, that's where they're going to have the fort, where the fort was built. And then it had washed away, and that's the story I got when I came out here the first time in 1963. But I got looking around, I wasn't an archaeologist, but I looked around and I saw a cut through the soil in the bank not far from here, and it showed 3 different layers of soil, and that's important, as I'll show you how we work with that process. There was a pile of clay, you could tell it had been put in, and there was a ridge behind it of clay. Under that was a dark black layer of rich dirt. The top layer said Civil War and had some Civil War artifacts. Then under that, the dark layer, it said colonial, and it had pottery sticking out, and then under that is Indian, and there were stone tools. I said, well, what is this black layer? I said, that's pretty interesting. But I always thought, no one's really proved that that fort had washed away. On the horizon was the 400th anniversary of the settlement here. And I thought, wouldn't it be a great thing to do is to actually find what's being commemorated in 1607, 2007. I started by myself, right here, 1 shovel, 1 wheelbarrow. And I couldn't hold back. I wanted to go. I knew I had a grant, wouldn't kick in for a couple months and get other people. So I started here, and the first day, I was digging right under the grass, and I came up with a piece of pottery. And I was roped in, and this woman was here with her son watching this guy. I'm like pretty skeptical. And she finally said to me, "What are you doing?" Like, do people know you're out here digging in these sacred properties? And I had that pottery, so I just looked around. I was pretty manic at the time because I knew that this pottery was old enough to be James Fort. So I said, I'm finding James Fort, I'm finding James Fort. I'm going around this. And she just sort of backed away with her son, come on, Bobby, let's not upset the nice man. I think she said that. I really do. I hope she came back with him. But that was 1994. And here, what we had done, luckily enough, was to dig in at this place, which turned out to be a filled-in cellar of a building that we've replicated above, that we found, pieces of, by finding where a post had been put in the ground that left a dark circle stain down in the soil, and where each one of them, they make a pattern. There was a cellar, and it was full of, we found an intact helmet. You can see armor that came out of this pit that's in the Archaearium exhibit. Before you go, please see that. And the dates of coins, all this stuff was coming out of here, and it was military enough, it was old enough. Wow, this is James Fort. But it took many years to connect all the dots to be able to tell where and how the fort laid out from that point. As it turned out, almost 90% had escaped erosion. And since so many people came over here and so many died, their possessions were just scattered and buried in things like a cellar, ditches, wells. It just wherever there's a hole in the ground, it got filled with some pretty amazing artifacts. So right now the collection goes over 1.5 million objects have been found here over the 18 years.
This program is the first of a multi-part look at archaeology on Jamestown Island. Check the American History TV website, cspan.org/history, for schedule information.